Whoo, hi. How you do? What's up, everyone? How you do? How's it going? Oh, man. That closed that closed captioning is terrible. I do other go on all men and. Oh, man. That is top tier closed captioning. Good job, Twitch. Holy shit. Twitch should clip that. Oh, what's up, Common Rider? What's up, BB Guy? What's up to all lurkers out there? How you do? How's it going? I apologize for not streaming yesterday. I'm not gonna say lied to, but I feel lied to in regards to the, I mean, first off, it was my fault for not talking about the, my cousin's wedding, like, at all. I completely slipped my mind. Not that it helped that I knew about it for, like, almost over a year in advance. Almost 2. But originally I was told that the reception was at 4. The reception was not at 4. It was recommended people arrive at the venue at 4 for the ceremony at 4:30. The reception didn't start until 6:30. And it was at that moment I knew I'm going to bed the moment I get out of here, aren't I? And I was right. So I'd like to welcome you to the wonderful game of telephone, where people assume things and then pass that information around, and then you realize that someone couldn't f***ing read the invitation. Which is also partially my fault. I should have just read my copy of the invitation, which I don't know where it went because I got it 2 years ago. But in any case, that's my explanation. Do I prefer making personas or do... I've only played Persona 5. Usually I just kept mixing. I just kept, like fusing personas to get what I needed. Mostly because fusing personas was how you got that good shit. And considering I went ahead and did a solo Joker run, you definitely need to go ahead and start fusing to get that good shit. So, yeah. In the end, your game evolves from the negotiating minigame to majority negotiation, complementing with a little bit of fusion, and then realizing all the power is in fusion, so you shift to fusion. That's at least how I feel most people's gameplay goes through in P5. All right, shall we actually get started with the podcast? I think we should get started with the podcast. I think that's a novel idea. Oh, I didn't even touch DLC personas, so I don't even know how strong or not they are. And I never will. 3, 2, 1. Coming up today on Eagle Eyes on Tech, Microsoft and Sony both had major console outages. AMD is plotting on bringing back 4 gigabyte graphic cards. LinkedIn is introducing an AI slot button. We also now know who bought Stream Elements. And finally, rumors are saying that Twitch may be feeding all of their content into training an AI. All that more coming today on Eagle Eyes on Tech. They're just there. I feel like that's like what a lot of RPGs do. They give you like some DLC stuff. They're like good for early game, like the dog suit and the Dragon Quest remakes. But then eventually you need to get out of it. That's not going to carry you through the whole game. Which is good, because otherwise it would defeat the purpose of the game. The whole point of an RPG is to grow and become stronger and find new ways to become stronger. If you just download a DLC character and that's it, that's all the power you need for the rest of the game, what's the fucking point of the game? Just my opinion. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, North 2 a.m. Good morning, this is Guys on Tech. I am Eagle Falcon. All right, so here's some fun behind the scenes stuff for you. So as people who do watch my streams at twitch.tv/Eagle Falcon, you'll know we had an amazing technical difficulty this week. My onboard sound card on my production rig is no longer detected at all. So all audio is now being powered by the DAC on my mixer. We are basically using the audio mixer that I use for my mic as the sound card. And I'm not going to lie, because of some obligations I had this weekend, I forgot to test anything with the podcast setup to see if this would be affected. It on paper shouldn't, because technically nothing in the podcast used the onboard sound card. But if you're hearing this and this podcast did air because the audio did catch, it worked. Yay! You know what didn't work though? The Vatican that put out it, well, that the Vatican went and put out an app called the quote Click to Pray app, which, I mean, honestly, is not the worst idea in the world. Like, there definitely are dumber ideas. The problem is that whoever went ahead and made this app unfortunately did not put the correct amount of effort in. Now, personally, in my personal opinion, if you're going to go ahead and make an app that is just supposed to be a simple press button, receive prayer to recite for whatever religion you believe in, I believe the app should do just that, and that the app should not track anything. The whole point of that should be a charity. That is what most religions are known for. They did not do that, however. The Click to Pray app has a massive security flaw in it. And this security flaw has exposed 700,000 global users and has been leaking data for over 6 months. And as of the time of talking about it, to my knowledge, it still does. Woo! Now, look, I am more of an atheist in my current years, right? Okay. I did grow up Catholic, so I know quite a lot about these sort of things. But hear me out, okay? If you are a Christian, and you felt that downloading the Click to Pray app was a great idea, first off, props to you that you thought it was a good idea. But second, perhaps instead consult the good book. I'm just saying. It's called the good book in Catholicism for a reason. And you know what? The good book isn't going to go ahead and dox you. I'm just saying. So yeah, please don't. This isn't for any sort of like opinion. This isn't for any belief reasons or anything like that. Like, this is about security. This is about protecting your own data. Don't use this app. In fact, even when they go ahead and fix the vulnerability in the app, I would dare argue the fact that a Click to Pray app is able to expose any kind of data should be a red flag to not use the app. Okay? The funny thing is, I was actually just at a Catholic wedding. I wish I kind of knew about the story beforehand. Whoops. Let's shift gears wildly, though. In fact, let's shift gears over to New York. The state of New York is filing yet another gambling-related lawsuit. And already, I can already hear you going, you're just going, oh, again? Really? They already tried this sort of nonsense once. It went nowhere. Because they refused to acknowledge, you know, current precedent or the fact that no actual money is being exchanged. Like, yeah, the state of New York, not exactly batting a great track record right now for trying to go after quote unquote illegal gambling operations. However, I think this time they've actually got a good one. How many of you have heard of Kalshi? I think about a handful of you probably have. Okay. If you've never heard of Kalshi, I can tell you exactly what Kalshi is with one other word. Kalshi is just like Polymarket. Yeah, you know, that kind of whole like gambling disguised as investment sort of thing, but it's very blatant as to what's going on. That it basically is a gambling operation, but you know, it's disguised as investment. New York, or rather the Attorney General for New York, is filing a lawsuit to block Kalshi within the state of New York. And honestly, in this case, if Attorney General, man, I am blanking on how to pronounce that. Latia James, however it's actually pronounced. I actually apologize this time for mispronouncing your name. That's 100% on me. But in any case, in this case, if New York is successful, this could start spreading a precedent for all of these various Polymarket clones that try to go ahead chat's telling me it's pronounced Letitia. Where's the S? Anyway. This could actually potentially set a precedent for all of these Polymarket clones and actually start pushing forward some pushback against them, because Polymarket really has been operating as though they are a perfectly normal investment app when they very obviously are not. So this could finally be a moment of clarity here in the US in regards to these gambling apps that are out there. So there you go. Rare moment. I actually agree with New York State. What a crazy and insane concept. By the by, if we're gonna shift gears again here, how many out there use unactivated Windows? Actually, here's the better question for you. How many of you wondered why Windows 11 required the Trusted Platform Module 2.0? Like, this was something that really did bother me. Like, this bothered me a lot. Okay? Because the Trusted Platform Module in the past really was something that was only utilized on the business side of things. And before you just go, we don't need, the security is the same on the business side as the Windows side. You have no idea. You have scan ID cards that are used as login pages, security cards that need to be slid into laptops in order to use them. If they're not there, they won't use it. One of the theories was that the Trusted Platform Module was going to be used for the passkey. That was the reason most of us were given. Even though that was a terrible reason. Because a passkey does not need physical hardware on the motherboard to function. A passkey is all software, unless you go ahead and have a flash drive turned into a passkey, and it requires the flash drive like a security card. We now know the real reason why Microsoft requires the Trusted Platform Module. It's to crack down on pirated Windows. And honestly, that's the best reason I've heard. So Microsoft is going to be utilizing the Trusted Platform Module chips on the motherboard to verify whether in fact key crackers are used on your copy of Windows. And by the way, that's a better reason than to try and tell us it's for passkeys. Because the passkey reason sucked. Now, do I agree with this? I'm kind of indifferent, honestly. Like, funny enough, mine, like, it was super easy to go ahead and get my Windows to activate. Like, it's not hard to get a legal copy without paying. And I actually do mean that very, very seriously. It was not hard at all. So it's like, for those who are like struggling and want to get by without paying Microsoft extra to use a copy of Windows 11, I get it. But there's ways around it. The fact that they're requiring this hardware, I still hate the move. I really do still hate the move. Because there are still plenty of systems out there, like my old workstation, which has easily enough horsepower in it to run modern tasks. But it only had Trusted Platform Module 1.0. And thus would be incompatible with Windows 11. Despite having no issues running Windows 11. This also means there is a very good chance that when this update goes out for the Trusted Platform module to start checking for license authenticity, that a whole bunch of people who went ahead and force installed Windows 11 are going to very suddenly find out their Windows 11 PC doesn't work. So here's the question I gotta ask. How quickly are a lot of people going to switch from Windows 11 to Bazzite? Because they don't want to get rid of their, however many year old PC. And they're just like, well, guess I'm out then. Like, I'm kind of indifferent on this. I still do think that Windows 11 requiring TMP 2.0 is still a BS reason. They very easily could have gone ahead and had it not use it. And especially in this day and age where getting any kind of computer right now is extremely difficult, all thanks to the RAM shortage caused by our best friend AI. It kind of just hurts that much more. So we'll see. This could either blow over as the biggest nothing ever, or this could be another case of a PC-ageddon. Honestly, I think it's gonna be the former. We'll have to see. Oh, by the way, Microsoft suffered a major, almost whole day outage on their Xbox servers where nothing would work, including launching games. And when I say launching games, I include launching games from a disk. Yeah, those of us console purists out there have been kind of laughing at modern consoles for a while, because modern consoles are nowhere near the isolated systems they once were. Okay? I can still fire up to this day my Super Nintendo, fire up Chrono Trigger, and we're off to the races. Somebody else who has Super Nintendo, I could hand them my Chrono Trigger cartridge, and then I never see it again. I mean, they could go ahead and fire up Chrono Trigger as well. Nothing is stopping that. But no internet, your offline only game doesn't work. Aren't modern consoles great? So yeah, like, we're gonna get to the Sony issue as well, but while we're here on the Microsoft side of things, let's kind of just address the elephant in the room here, okay? Microsoft's eventually going to copy Sony over here, right? By the way, Sony also had a massive outage with very similar problems with firing up their games, okay? Both of them had this. Sony has already promised they're making the move to digital only. What are they going to do in the countries where PlayStation Store is not available and they can't sell games? Well, I guess they're just pulling out of that market entirely, because Sony is just going to be the company that chops off its own nose despite its face, apparently. But let's pretend for a second, okay? Let's pretend that gamers got their way, okay? Let's pretend that Sony went ahead backpedaled the whole way and then said, we're going to go ahead and support physical games for this generation and the next generation to come. Let's pretend that, okay? Let's pretend we won. What happens when the PlayStation 5 store goes completely offline? Not in a server outage sort of way. I mean 100% offline. It's a legacy server. They no longer want to support it anymore. Despite the fact that you have an entire shelf of PS5 discs, you're sunk. You'll in the end have nothing. And in fact, you won't be able to launch anything off the console. You'll have the same issue again. Now, funny enough, I do believe Sony actually does have an offline mode where certain games you can launch it, so there is a workaround. Microsoft doesn't have that at all. In fact, a lot of games may not even have the whole game on the disc. So even the Switch here, right? Where you've got this whole cart right here, right? The whole game's on there. There is no other download needed. But in the case of the PS5 and the Xbox Series, that may not be the case. And even if you go ahead and have a physical disc, like I don't have within arm's reach right now, you're still going to be hosed. And the outage proved that. So yeah, we want to go ahead and get Sony to reverse course on the digital only games. I don't think they're going to, and I think they're going to go ahead and hurt themselves in the end. And I also want to point this out here for a second too. Sony said in one of their most recent press conferences that allegedly physical games only make up 10% of their game sales. Now, you might think for a minute, ooh, wow, that's it? I mean, yeah, you're keeping 90% there, so I guess that's fine. Here's my rebuttal. Why would you put 10% of your sales at risk? Like, your game sales are not a small number. Like, actually, do we have the exact numbers from Sony's last call? Let's take a look. PlayStation revenue in game sales. Okay, it's taking me more than 10 seconds to find this information. Now I've lost interest. Let's pretend for a minute and say that it is... Oh, actually, here's one that says it was 82%. We're still going to go with our 10% number, or that it's 90%. Yeah, they're not revealing that actual, like, number, like, at all. I'm not finding that anywhere. But let's invent a number. Let's just say 10 million total in video game sales. That's not the number, but let's pretend it is. $10 million in revenue in Sony PlayStation games. Are you saying that cutting out physical games is worth 1 million? Yeah, you're saving a little bit of money by not having to pay retail their cut. I get that. But you're losing a clearly very dedicated portion of your fan base. A large chunk of them are not just going to move over to digital like you think they're going to. And then there's the various country markets where you know they can't buy digital because your Sony store is not allowed to run in those countries, period. Meaning all of those countries are now going to get you're going to get a whole bunch of bad PR from them because all of their PS5s very suddenly became a brick. So we'll say of that 10%, you retain 2. That's an 8% loss. That is 800,000 out of 10 million. That's not a wise business decision. Not unless you are making that 800,000 back. And I seriously doubt that you are. Not to mention the bad PR you're going to get in various small markets that you don't have a digital presence in at all. It just kind of blows me away that Sony has just had an amazing history lately of just doubling down on some really bad decisions. Meanwhile, Valve prefers to double down on good decisions, such as pushing forward the update to FSR 4.1 for the Steam Machine, which means that little Steam Machine is going to get a bit more performance out of its older hardware. In addition, Valve has released the external CAD files for the case of the Steam Machine. So if you're an insane, crazy person that has 3D printing tools or a CNC mill or whatever you have, you can go ahead and make your own custom faceplate or an entire custom case for the Steam Machine. And before you go, oh, that's way out of my expertise, I just know how to print simple stuff, I want to remind you, all of the guts of the Steam Machine just pull out. The port, the power button, all of that is not built into the case. That is built into the block. That is built into the naked Gabe cube that you can pull out of the case. The case is very dumb. It is not that hard to go through at all. And also it means you can go ahead and just print them off some other guy. I already know, we talked about last week how someone has already reverse engineered some companion cube cases for the Steam Machine. Now they're going to have a much easier time because the CAD files are just straight up right there. So hey, good guy Valve doing good guy Valve things. Now are you ready for the bad news? Not Valve things, unfortunately. Here's the bad news. AMD is now going to be raising the price of their graphic cards because Nvidia is doing it. So just on the off chance you thought that we might be climbing out of the computer building era I'm just going to generously call the scrapyard wars. No, we are still very much in the scrapyard wars era of PC building. It's just that sad. But hey, AMD does want to do one good guy thing. AMD is making a card that is specifically engineered to hit a low price point and be targeted exclusively at gaming. That sounds good, right? The card is designed in such a way that there is no possible way for it to be useful for AI. You want to know how they did it? You want to know how they did it? The card has 4 gigabytes of VRAM. Which means the highest resolution it can reliably game at is 720p. It is the year of our Lord 2026. And AMD is going to be releasing a graphics card with 4 gigabytes of onboard RAM. Do you want to know how bad that is? In the other room, this isn't a joke, by the way, this is real. In the other room, there is a small server rack about the height of a bedstand. Okay? In there is a rack mount server that is roughly 16 years old. It's an old system. Okay. That thing renders this podcast, my YouTube videos, is a storage server for my entire operation, clocking in at roughly 8 terabytes of storage with up to a 3-drive failover. And it is using an old NVIDIA Quadro card for professional use that is ultra low wattage so that it can run without making a sound. That entire system, all of its parts, are well over a decade old. That graphics card has 4 gigabytes of RAM on it. AMD, you are now competing with a budget card from 10 years ago for RAM capacity. Now, there are some rumors out there saying that this GPU is going to, there is going to be an 8 gigabyte variant, according to some people. And both editions of the GPU are going to be sold as OEM exclusive cards, meaning, for the most part, only system builders are going to get their hands on them. So the average person can't go ahead and make this stupid mistake of getting a 4 gigabyte card and then wonder why they can't run Cyberpunk 2077 at 4K. However, here's the sad thing. The 4 gigabyte card is expected to launch at $280. $280 for 720p gaming. Do you know how much the card that's in the render server is right now on the used market? It's $40. Look, already chat's talking about how just, look, I don't really care about high resolution gaming. 720p is fine, all that jazz. But here's the thing. 720p is the highest they'll be able to do. That's the highest they'll be able to do. There is no headroom. There is nowhere to grow. This is the equivalent of buying brand new shoes that are already like half a size too small. You've reached its peak. There's nowhere to go. And I'll just tell you this right now, even though the market is kind of crap for new GPUs, I'll just tell you this right now. I would rather spend $20 more and take a chance with a used RTX 4060 that's going to have double the RAM and about the same level of performance and be able to, at the very least, handle 1080p gaming. Like, this is just not a good buy. There is not a use case where this is good for anyone involved. And I'm not going to lie, I'm greatly disappointed. But that is just where we're at in this PC era, just known as the Scrapyard Wars. We're going to go ahead and take a break here. When we come back, we got to talk about streamer things. After we talk about AI, of course. Yeah, nothing there. We'll double check here real quick. Nothing. Okay. All right, we'll get rid of the intro. Live troubleshooting, live troubleshooting. How's the married I didn't get married. Yeah, we're live troubleshooting the marriage I didn't have. Yeah, it was really difficult getting the entire workspace into the down the aisle, but we did it somehow. Now starting to wonder, has this been an issue for a while? No, it has not. It was just fine last week. Okay. All right, we're gonna try and re-record the tease. See if this works. Three, two, one. Coming up today on Eagle Eyes on Tech, Microsoft and Sony both have major console outages. AMD is bringing 4GB cards back for some reason. LinkedIn is introducing the AI slot button. We now know who bought Stream Elements, and rumors are saying Twitch may be feeding all of their content to train AI. All that and more coming up today on Eagle Eyes on Tech. All right, I think that worked. The real question is, do I want to bother editing in the intro theme to the last one? Because I did open up the podcast by saying, hey, there might be audio issues because the sound card died. So I might just leave it as is and just say, f it, we ball. In fact, I'm very tempted to just do exactly that. Let's just confirm it's there. Yep, it's there. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and go with the F it, we ball. I'm just going to change the name of this a little bit. Oh, that's my actual PC. I thought it was remoting into Render for a second. Whoops. I'm just going to very quickly go into Remder right now. Start lining up the files into the editor so that late tonight me doesn't accidentally put the intro in the middle of the podcast. So that's intro there. That is segment 1. There we go. All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Eagle Eyes on Tech. I'm Eagle Falcon. I believe we found an audio problem in between the segments that has been corrected. And screw it, you just get no intro this week. I think that's just all we're going to end up doing. Oh well. There's always next week, right? I mean, look, a missing intro is going to be nowhere near as bad as what the RAM market's doing nowadays. I mean, let's just get that straight. Because even though there's some news that might bring some hope, Huawei is rumored to be building their own DRAM fab. And everyone is already getting their hopes up. Oh, yes, another DRAM fab. Oh, finally. We need some help other than SK Hynix, Micron, and Samsung. We need someone else in there. Here's the problem, though, okay? There already is one Chinese manufacturer that suddenly got into the DRAM industry, right? I can't remember their name right now. You want to know why they're not the big savior of all of our RAM problems, or we're not just embracing Chinese RAM? No, it's not because of trade problems with China. Although, very good guess. Very good guess. You do get a gold star for that one, but you're wrong. No, the answer, unfortunately, is very simple. They couldn't get the cost down low enough because they're such a new fab and their technology is not as refined as, you know, the big three. The RAM coming out of that fab is actually more expensive than the overpriced RAM we're getting out of Micron, Samsung, and SK Hynix. Yeah, welcome to growing pains of trying to get into a new industry. It's awful. It kind of is just how it goes, unfortunately. So, before everyone else starts going, oh, thank God for Huawei. Oh, my hero. Yeah, it's probably not going to help. Because the guy before Huawei couldn't do it, why on earth would I think that Huawei could do it? I mean, yeah, it's good news for China, though. They get to go ahead and try to say that their golden child in Huawei is going to go ahead and save the industry. It just isn't, unfortunately. And by the way, getting back to the whole thing I mentioned earlier about us being in the scrapyard wars era of PCs. Here's some more evidence of that. PC sales are down, and officially the growth trend of the PC industry as a whole has now also reversed. The PC industry is no longer growing. It is now officially shrinking. Gee, I wonder why. You mean you don't want to buy a budget computer at double the price? That's crazy. Although funny enough here, Windows Central, the website I'm using here as a source, did point out there is one manufacturer in PC manufacturing as a whole that is actually growing. Zone in chat says the overall computer market is up. It is not. It is down. PC sales are down. That is the story. We're not going to come in here and go, nuh-uh. No, that's what it is. But as I said, there is one manufacturer that is up. Now for funsies, who do you think the one computer manufacturer that is up in sales could be? What do you think it could be? I mean, probably not Dell, unless they're trying to go ahead and weasel in their data center buys into it. Certainly not HP. They haven't been doing anything interesting. Ooh. It must be Apple. Right? Because of the whole NeoBook thing. The MacBook Neo, that whole revolutionary thing that was the ARM processor in a Mac shell for like $600. That's huge. That must be it. It must be Apple. Good guess. That was my guess too. No. It's Asus. Asus is the one that had the most amount of improvement in the last quarter. Why? I don't know. But that's where we're at right now. Someone asked if NVIDIA counts. No. Why would NVIDIA count? NVIDIA doesn't make computers. I think the only like whole system NVIDIA makes I think there's like one version of their AI servers that NVIDIA actually makes in-house. Otherwise, no, NVIDIA just makes parts. No, NVIDIA does not get any piece of that. Someone in chat says probably because they're already down to the begin with. Asus had nowhere to go but up. You can go further down. But yeah, already having a low baseline probably did help Asus in that regard. You're probably right in that regard. Oh, that's enough depression from the computer segment. Let's instead talk about embarrassment from the AI sector. You know, this might come as a shock to you, but did you know that sharing your chat logs with your AI bot might make them public? See, like, this seemed obvious to me, okay? This seemed obvious that the moment you start sharing around your logs, everyone's gonna see them. Like, that to me just seemed obvious. In fact, there's already a pretty good chance that even though your logs were private, odds are they're already out there in the public. But apparently, a lot of people are shocked to find out that your Claude chats might be available to be searchable in Google if you went ahead and made a shareable link of them within Claude. All right, so for the surprised Pikachu faces out there, if you create a shareable link, it can be found by search bots and therefore your chat will be public. So all those scandalous things you went ahead and told to a Claude bot, which by the way, that could be viewed by everyone. Good job. A+, number 1. So, pro tip, don't do that. In fact, if you are having those kind of chats with a chat bot, you might need to go ahead and acquire grass. Not that kind of grass. The kind that makes up a lawn. You might need to acquire that and pet it. Become one with nature again. I'm just saying. It might be time to just lean back away from the world of AI. Speaking of the world of AI, Anthropic wanted to go ahead and claim to one-up ChatGPT by saying that, oh yeah, well, your model went ahead and accidentally hacked someone. Our model went ahead and accidentally hacked 3 organizations during our testing, so there. Okay, I actually don't know if it was actually pitched as a one-upping of OpenAI, but holy cow, it kind of seems like it was. So yeah, just in case you're not terrified of what AI could do, yeah, and Anthropic just went ahead and hacked apparently 3 different organizations during their testing. Allegedly, I actually want to see if the article does talk about what they are. I don't recall if it was made public what they are. It doesn't look like they've actually went ahead and said what organizations they accidentally hacked. It does not. So I don't know. It could very well be possible they hacked no one and they're just bluffing. Any other case, AI. This is the world we're in now. Accidental hacking is the norm. In other good news, though, major labels are now investigating other rules to go ahead and before they were trying to figure out ways to protect their own IP from being scraped by AI. Now they're trying to figure out finally how to keep AI slop music off the charts for musical hits. Oh, this is going to be good. I can't wait for all these rules to be put in that make life horrible. And then some AI slop gets onto the top charts anyway. Oh, it's going to be an absolute mess. So all I can say is good luck. Good luck coming with rules. You will definitely need it. Speaking of actually needed it, LinkedIn has added a new report button. And the button literally, not figuratively, literally just says, quote, seems like AI slop. So if you haven't touched LinkedIn in a while, congratulations. But also second, LinkedIn has a huge problem right now in the fact that it's supposed to be a network place where various organizations and various professionals try to go ahead and network out in their field. The only problem is right now, LinkedIn is flooded, and I do mean flooded worse than Gen Con is right now, with all kinds of employee and employer profiles of people and companies that don't exist. They were in fact generated en masse by everyone's favorite tool, AI. And it's a serious problem. So finally, LinkedIn now is adding a report button to go ahead and flood some poor reviewers' inbox of all of the profiles that may or may not actually be AI slop. To which I say, good luck. Good freaking luck, because you're not getting the toothpaste back in the tube. We could also go to Facebook's method of going through this. Facebook is finally launching their verified program. So now you too can have an annoying check mark and have a sense of superiority like you already went ahead and paid for on Twitter. Don't lie, you did. I can see it over there, you weenie. To prove that you are in fact a real person and not a robot trying to go ahead and get them nudes from whoever. What goes on Facebook? And I swear the only thing that goes on Facebook right now is trying to catfish and just the most outlandish political propaganda that means nothing on both sides being spread everywhere. Is there a more toxic place on the internet than Facebook? You know what, actually, for anyone that wants to try and measure that and hates themselves, there's the real test. Is Facebook or 4chan worse? That's a tough one. You know what? I'm just going to instead touch grass. But in any case, you can go ahead and fill out all the forms needed to go ahead and get that badge. But here's the thing. I almost guarantee you that getting that badge will require you to give Facebook an ungodly amount of real data about you that Facebook is going to inevitably sell to the highest bidder. Because that's what Facebook does. So before you go ahead and start filling out everything to verify yourself, just remember, they're going to sell it. So maybe, just maybe, in this case, it might not be worth it. It's just a thing to consider. Here's something else to consider, and this one is far more horrifying. I think we found it. I think we have found... Someone in chat asked if my Facebook it looks that bad, you might just have bleepity bleep friends. You want to know actually how people's Facebook page gets that bad? I can actually tell you how. Because this is how mine ended up that bad. It wasn't friends. It's because my parents found my Facebook ID. And I was too nice to say no. That was my mistake. That was the first mistake. The second mistake was going onto Facebook. One might argue that was the first mistake, but shut up. Delete and repeat, someone in chat says. No, don't repeat. That's how we got in this mess in the first place. Anyway, an AI to surpass Grok as far as disgustingness. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about an AI known as Hugging Face. Now, Hugging Face on paper doesn't sound that bad as far as AIs go. Okay? Like a lot of AIs, we think about the Anthropics, the chat GPTs and whatnot, the meta AIs, the Groks, the ones that go ahead and require an infinite number of data centers that continue to suck up all the water dry, and what water they do give back is contaminated with runoff, as well as giving off the constant hum of because the thing is not properly sound insulated, and for whatever reason no one wants to go ahead and enforce that. Or rather, they do enforce it, but the fines are so minuscule, the data centers just pay it and don't care, and consider it the cost of doing business. No, Hugging Face is not like those. It is what's referred to as an open source model, meaning it is meant to be something that you download and you run on your own hardware. Now, nothing is stopping other data centers from downloading it and running it remotely, but its core concept that's meant to run locally, that you have full control over the AI. However, many of these systems go ahead and have some built-in guardrails. They want to go ahead and make sure that you don't commit crimes, for instance, with these AIs. It has now been found that, yes, you can commit crime with Hugging Face. What possible crime could you commit with a AI? Eagle, you sound crazy. What could it possibly be? How about creating non-consensual deep fakes of a pornographic variety of any age? And I do mean any. Yeah, this is a problem. This is an actual problem. So yeah, virtually every other AI model out there has these sort of guardrails because they don't want their platform being used for exactly this. Nobody wants their platform to be used for exactly this unless they exist on an island. Someone in chat is asking a very concerning question that I don't know how to answer. Well, the answer is I don't know. I don't know what they used for training data to do this. I don't want to know. I feel like if I do know, I'm going to be arrested. Ugh. But needless to say, this is not good. Not good in any way, shape, or form. We'll have to see if anything is done about this. But the only comment I can really give about this is yikes. Just straight up yikes. It's so yikes. We're just going to shift gears wildly with no good segue whatsoever. Streaming! we have streaming news. We actually have two huge pieces of streaming news. Okay. First off, a couple months ago, Stream Elements, which is one of the two major alert providers for Twitch, YouTube, and pretty much every streaming platform out there. Okay. Stream Elements is one of the big ones. Streamlabs is the other big one. Okay. Streamlabs was bought by Logitech and is kind of just like an unholy abomination of itself that kind of lost its way from the good old days, but I digress. And Stream Elements did better mostly. But the thing is that a couple months ago, it looked like Stream Elements was about to get crushed under its own weight in debt. There's been a lot of speculation as to why, but the only things that it seem likely, and I don't know this for certain, but it seems likely the reasons being was the fact they were not generating the revenue they needed to stay afloat. And in addition, they didn't have it in them to cut staff when they needed to. And I know that sounds super cruel, but at some point with business like this that are making less than they're spending, you need to make cuts to stay alive. You hear that, Microsoft? When you need to stay alive, we don't need to go ahead and cut half the staff for the lulls. Like it seems Microsoft does frickin' what, every 6 weeks? But yeah, Stream Elements looked like they were on the brink of collapse. It actually even sounded like when they were going to hit their next monthly upkeep, they were just going to declare bankruptcy and shut down unless they found a buyer. They did find a buyer. We had no idea who it was. We now know who it is. It's Razer. What is with computer peripheral companies buying streaming companies? Logitech bought Streamlabs. And now Razer bought Stream Elements. And honestly, in hindsight, I don't know how it could have been anyone but Razer. Like, there's a back of my head, it could have been like Walmart wanting to get a hold of that advertising network on their own, trying to go and promote their online store more with using Stream Elements sponsorship platform, that sort of thing. Like, there was a lot of potential and a lot of other buyers, but like, I'll be honest, my biggest fear was that it was going to be an AI startup, and that all of the data was just going to go ahead and feed some AI abomination that would eventually collapse in on its own weight and take Stream Elements down with it. That was my fear. That's fortunately not what's going on. Instead, it's being bought by Razer. So, what does that mean in the end? I'll tell you what, though. I like the partnership of Stream Elements and Razer a lot more than the partnership of Streamlabs and Logitech. Because at least Razer, although misguided recently in their own push towards AI, they at least do have a history in gaming culture. Unlike Logitech, that makes mouse and then goes, oh, that's good for gaming? Neat. We made the same thing but put light on it. Like, Logitech has no feel in the game. They really don't. Now, in the end, what is going to change now that the merger is revealed? For the most part, nothing, with one exception, and this exception does affect a lot of people, okay? One of the things that Stream Elements has that Streamlabs doesn't, Stream Elements has their own payment processor. They have something called SE Pay. So streamers could, in fact, or rather viewers could go ahead and donate directly to a streamer through SE Pay. Whereas other ones, the only choice you have is PayPal. Streamlabs only uses PayPal. Many other lesser platforms also use exclusively PayPal. Stream Elements had both PayPal and their own payment processor in SE Pay. Well, part of their consolidation is that SE Pay is going away. That is going to be switching to a PayPal only as well. Now, SE Pay might come back down the road, powered by a different processor instead of it being their own in-house. It might be something like a Stripe or something like that. I personally would welcome that, especially since some streamers don't have a PayPal. Like me, I don't have a PayPal at all. So RIP, I guess. Now, as far as sponsorships go, at the time of recording, and let me go ahead and double check that just so I'm not a liar. At the time of recording, there are no sponsorships available for the average streamer, other than the cheesy "I hope it dies in a fire" play to earn crap under the GrabTap name. I don't like these kind of play to earn schemes. They always feel scummy. They almost always take advantage of people, and I don't like them. I just don't. But that is the only option available, which I'm not doing because I have integrity. Take that. Now, of course, everything else staying the same. They even exclusively said you do not need to have Razer products to go ahead and use Stream Elements. There's going to be no type of exclusivity like that. I would strongly suspect that eventually there will be campaigns for Razer products in there. I just assume that is going to be coming down the road. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm not surprised that it's Razer. I'm not really excited that it's Razer. My personal opinion of Razer isn't great. But man, it could have been way, way worse. I would actually argue Razer was about the safest person buying Stream Elements that it could have been, other than Twitch themselves. So all in all, for now, a good end to a story in the streaming world that could have been a disaster. Now then, I want to introduce you to 3 sentences that has made all of streaming Twitter absolutely seething mad. From streaming reporter Zach Busey. Twitch and Amazon are apparently planning to use streams to train generative AI. Multiple sources tell me, that's being Zach Busey, not me, It will be announced in coming months despite some internal friction against it. Creators may be able to opt out of some training data. Now, this is already sparking a lot of outrage, okay? It turns out when your platform is built by creative types, said creative types don't like their creative works being used to train a soulless machine built on trying to replace them. Shocker, I know. My personal favorite, though, has been the countless number of people that have been claiming that, quote, this is all about trying to F VTubers all over again. That if you stream on Twitch, you will violate your model artist's terms of service because a lot of them ban AI training. Here's what I want to know. If that is true, why are there VTubers on YouTube? Or Twitter? Or Instagram? Or half the internet, for that fact? Heck, if you think for a nanosecond that there isn't AI training already happening on Twitch right now, you might be foolish. You want to know when I thought that Twitch was gathering upstream data to go ahead and feed into an AI? You want to know when? The instant, underline the instant, they announced AI-powered automatic clipping. That should have been everyone's red flag. No offense to Zach Busey. Zach Busey here does amazing work. But this news headline from Zach should have been responded with, no, really? Because it's been painfully obvious that training has been going on for quite some time. And quite frankly, I don't think Zach's an idiot. In fact, I think Zach also believes the same thing I do, that Twitch has been using our content for a long time now to train AI. He is just now reporting that, yeah, I got multiple sources saying this is going on now, rather than, yeah, this is probably going on. So for all the people going ahead and saying, well, I'm going to boycott Twitch because they're going to be training AI. I want to see where you're going to go then. Because let me tell you, if you are a content creator of any kind, I don't care whether it's VTuber related, Flesh tuber related, or if you're an audio only streamer. I don't care what category you put yourself in, okay? if you plan on leaving Twitch because they might be using your data to train AI and plan on going to YouTube, you might need to sit down and listen to some more Eagle Eyes on Tech. Every single content creation platform has been feeding all, and I want to stress this again, all of the user-generated content into AI for over the past year. It's just that Twitch and Amazon were late to the party because Amazon was too busy trying to figure out how to get AI into their Echo devices, and because Twitch was way too busy picking their nose. That is the only reason why this is news now. As it stands right now, there is only one content creation platform right now that does not use content creator data to feed AI. There's only one. And I guarantee you the majority of these VTubers and whatnot saying they're going to quit Twitch and go over to better pastures, they're not going to touch this platform with a 10-foot pole. Can you guess? Can you guess what is the one content platform that as of right now we do not believe, and I want to stress that, we don't believe that they are using it to train AI. No, chat, it's not DeviantArt. Even though DeviantArt themselves might not be training AI, I guarantee you there are bots all over DeviantArt scrubbing it. No, there's only one video platform that isn't openly farming their own content for AI. It's Kick. That's the only one. YouTube has been doing it forever. Twitter has been doing it forever. Twitch is now going to be doing it. Nebula doesn't count. Nice try, chat. That is a pay to watch platform. It's just Kick. That's the only one. The site known for hard right grifters and gambling. With that though said, here's what I will say, okay? You want to talk about the dumbest platform you can go ahead and try to harvest data for to feed an AI? I think the dumbest platform for that might actually be Twitch. What do you think the AI is going to learn from Twitch? Oh, it's going to learn how to bully people on the streets for content. Ooh, or how to drink and drive. Ooh, or how to go ahead and stare directly at the camera and then crash your car. Ooh, or how about the one time that someone went ahead and set off fireworks inside their own room? Ooh, that was a fun one. Or my personal favorite, the guy who went ahead and shocked his dog with a shock collar and then tried to deny it for over a year. Or the numerous ways that lewd-tubers have gone ahead and tried to go ahead and stream games onto their cleavage. Not to mention the infinite number of hot tub streamers that make you wonder, is this technically porn? My friends, this is going to be a really stupid AI. You thought Grok was bad? Man. Just wait until the Twitch AI comes out. Hey, remember how earlier I tried to tell it to go ahead and clip something? And then it didn't? Good times. Oh, man. I mean, clearly everyone is against AI, right? We want to push back as much as we can. But in the end, the AI training will continue. There's not a whole lot we can do about it. It's going to try and learn from us, and that's just all there is to it. But in the end, the AI is not there yet. It's going to hallucinate and do all kinds of crazy things. And it's just going to push more and more this prejudice of man versus machine. Which brings us to the last burb, the last story of the day, the weirdest story of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that United, Delta, and Southwest Airlines are banning humanoid robots on planes? I had no idea this was a thing yet. But I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, there is a risk of, you know, this massive battery that is definitely over 100 watt hours, that's for frickin' sure, going onto a plane, and therefore is a super, super dangerous situation. But the reason this is the last burb, besides the fact I couldn't find a funnier story, is just the notation of, by God, it's begun. We've finally done it, everyone. The uprising against the clankers has begun. And it all starts with the one thing every comedian talks about the most. Airlines. That is where the front lines are. Humans versus clankers. At the lineup to get on the airplane. You know what's going to happen too next, right? Some deranged idiot is going to go ahead and do their best to try and disguise their humanoid robot to be as human-like as possible. And thus, the arms race begins. Although, to be honest, I don't know why this would be that big of an issue. I mean, clearly, Robot Bob over here is my carry-on. Because there's no way at these airline prices I'd go ahead and order a separate ticket for Robot Bob over here. There's just no way. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode of Eagle Eyes on Tech. Thank you so much for listening, and I do encourage you to check out my other works, youtube.com/EagleFalcon and twitch.tv/EagleFalcon. Take care, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye. The real question I gotta ask, though, was this already foretold in the Terminator movies? I mean, look, I know that technically we don't have a company called Skynet yet, right? And that none of these are made by any of the expected Skynet people. But, like, there's the Terminator Zero, right? Did Terminator Zero talk about this at all? Did Terminator Zero foretell us that that Tesla eventually rebrands to Skynet after acquiring Google or something crazy like that? We must consult the sacred movies. The war of man versus Clanker is upon us. That's it. The podcast is in the books. We're going to go ahead and take a little bit of an extended break here. And by extended break, I mean I'm going to try and rush all the prep as quick as possible because raid starts 2 minutes ago. Get up and stretch, everyone. We will be back. right, I'm back. I swear, half our tracks were mana. Like half of. That's wild.
Yeah, no.
I need to clarify, because apparently I've been clarifying it all day. I did not get married.
Oh boy. Trying to pass you later, but it won't let me.
Of course not. I think you gotta take down the PF first.
Oh.
Yeah. You can just wait till the party fills, then it'll automatically be movable.
I mean,
Yeah,
there is that. If you want to go ahead and learn what I put down.
Oh, yeah, that one? Yeah, no.
There we go.
That's a lot of work.
That requires knowing the lingo and lingo hard.
I mean, some of the lingo is inherently irrational.
I don't know what you're talking about, Nom Nom.
That was exactly what I had in mind.
I have no idea what you're talking about or what Nom Nom means. I can hear you shaking your head.
I mean, that was me rubbing my nose, but yeah, internally I am absolutely doing that. I'm doing it in spirit, believe you fucking me.
All right, we're up. No, I mean, where it actually came from is one of these strats that's used specifically for snaking one was done by a static called Nom Nom. So then that strat just got known as Nom Nom strat. So when you're doing your PF, you put in, we're using the Hector strats, except we're also using Nom Nom for that one strat that's known as the Nom Nom strap, and we're using paralines or parallel lines. That's it. That's the actual context. But just saying, yeah, just put down Hector Nom Nom paralines. It makes you sound like a crazy person. No matter how in the know you are. Which reminds me, I should probably figure out what the Party Finder standard strats for Captain Von Horny is. I mean the Tyrant.
Same name.
By the way, who wants to be the taxi?
Anyway.
Darwin? Okay.
That's not exactly what I had in mind.
Well,
That was clear yesterday.
I never got the clear, so on M1, or I'm sorry, M9, so I literally can't queue us in. But I know everyone else here can.
Yeah, getting texted yesterday was very interesting.
Yeah.
Nobody else had it, did they?
No.
Oh
They just
no.
They just sent me to go join another one. I did one run. We wiped. It's like, all right, guys, y'all are bad. Leave. Thanks for texting.
Didn't you do it of your own volition?
We almost got to enrage you on the first round.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
It was just like a random group that was looking for one healer.
Oh my god. Shit, that's what I need to do. Just join random groups as a freaking white mage or something. Which would be terrible because I'm pretty sure my white mage gear is hot garbage. So I never got confirmation. Who here is up to date on the relic stuff?
I probably should do it at some point. I just haven't been.
Okay, so as far as I know, it is that this step is a 3-step. Even though one of the steps a lot of people don't consider a step. I still will though, because it costs 500k.
I had like 500 more tombstones, and I'll get my gunbreaker weapon.
Oh, okay. So have you already done the dispellers then, or have you done the step after that?
I've done this dispellers.
Okay. So it's
Just finished it today,
dispellers tome, then this third mysterious step that I've only been told is a quote grand tour TM. And then I assume more tomes.
Do every single duty in Dawn Trail.
Okay, well, it
all
can't
of
be
them?
every duty. There's no way they would put the relic behind Savage.
Well, everything except Savage and Extreme Trials, but
Okay.
you will still have to redo every trial, every dungeon, the Alliance raid. Like, why?
That's a little annoying, but I mean, they've done worse.
You will like Dawn Trail by the end of this.
I won't smile.
Consent is not a factor,
I hate to
apparently.
break it to you, Mr. Yoshida-san, but forcing me to go ahead and go through all of Dawn Trail to make me like it more is not how you make me like Dawn Trail.
No, that's generally speaking how you make people like it less.
I mean, that would follow the Stockholm Syndrome philosophy, but no.
Alright, I liked it less when it took me 80 fates to get 3 stones in one area.
I think that, dude, that first fucking step, I swear, that ended so many relic attempts before it began, just because the RNG that Yoshi P said, don't worry, it's fine. It's not fine, Mr. Yoshida-san. We have a pity system everywhere else, and this is atrocious. I mean, you will notice that for the dispellers, even though it's basically the same thing as Demi-Atmas, they instead just said, okay, we're gonna just make it give you a small amount of them, but you have to get a lot of them. And that's much better than grinding out fates in Yasulani for 90 years, hoping for one speck of gummy bear to drop. Not that I'm speaking from experience on that. Twice.
Then my friend helps me out, and we do some fate farming to get the stones. They just started the steps. First fate to get one, second fate to get a second one, third fate they didn't get any, fourth fate to get the third one, and they're like, all right, see you at the next area. I'm like, fuck, I'm 40 in.
Did you kill them?
I should have.
I was gonna say that would be illegal, sir.
So is getting Demi-Atmas that fast.
It's only illegal
Oh
if
dear.
That's disgusting. That's just disgusting. Oh man.
I mean, I've been grinding that area for like 6 hours just to get my second stone.
Like, I know the grind took me about a month on Eags. Like, it was almost to the next step by the time I got all mine.
Oh.
And then I'm just like, man, I'm never going to do that on my alt. So then on my alt, I went ahead and started doing it.
What?
Like an idiot. And, man. I swear, it took her 3 months in very casual fate farming just to get the one from, what is the place called? Shaloni. And just like you, I went in there with someone else to help me out to make the grind more sane. They got all of theirs in just a couple of hours, leaving me holding just one. The only one I've gotten in a few months. And then like the next day, two back-to-back fates gave me the second and third one.
Nice.
Just proving that that entire step is a cruel mistress. Like, you know the grind is bad when you get that lucky that you just get 66% of what you need in back-to-back runs, and just go, and you don't feel happy at all. You just stare at it and go, man, that sucked.
Yeah.
Although honestly, for the Dispeller step, I'm just more amazed they actually went ahead and made Northhorn relevant for it.
I'm definitely thinking about doing that because like it gives you quite a lot of Dispellers.
Yeah, like I was doing it on the alt because I hate myself. And like she already has like 30 alphas and then 40 the other two. And that was just in casual. I wonder what this place is all about. And like after we're done here, I'm probably gonna go back there as well, and then probably die to the book.
The book?
There's a critical encounter that is just like a living book. And guess what?
L5.
It introduced
L5 death memories.
Oh, you'll never guess what its core mechanic is. Are you ready? Its core mechanic is math.
the fucking reverb.
Oh no, not the Lighthouse Part 2.
Oh, it's worse than Lighthouse Part 2. Fortunately, it doesn't reduce your HP to 1. We got rid of that part, thank God. Instead, though, it puts a debuff on you that adds or subtracts your knowledge level. And now you need to look at that and look at 3 quadrants and determine, are you safe in level 5 death, level 3 flare, or prime something or another? And of course the 3 areas change. You're doomed. It's math. Math is back.
And I still got all the steps to go. I'm on step 2. My ether wheels are almost done, or my ether wells.
Your Easter wells.
Yeah, my ether
Close
wells.
enough. Close enough.
Yeah, these painted eggs are taking forever.
And those is just slow and steady and pray you don't get Crystal Tower. JK, you got Crystal Tower.
when it's like 80% Crystal Tower, 20% anything else.
Yeah, because like the daily bonus it gives is nice. It's just for whatever reason on the Alliance raid, Crystal Tower is just like, here's your daily bonus, and here's a penny.
Yeah, because like I got the list of all the how much ether each and every dungeon gives and the bonus, and it's like the daily bonus for Alliance raid is only 100.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay.
I'll tell you what though, if you got lucky like I did and got a Gallia twice, whoo! That thing
my
shot
friend
up
got-
quick.
Yeah, my friend got super lucky. He got 3 walks in a row followed by a near.
Oh, nice. I didn't get any walks, unfortunately. Maybe I did on the alt. I don't remember.
Yeah, he got that, and it's like, oh yeah, day 2, starting Alliance raid at halfway done.
It's like, man, this asshole.
It's like, damn.
It's like, I'm happy for you. I'm so glad that you got lucky with that freaking prick.
At least all the other stuff is just like, oh, you do this event, you get this amount. Not,
Yeah. The rest is more flat amounts.
but I'm still not going to complain. At least the second state is like, you're making progress. It's still RNG, but you're making progress.
You know what? I will give props to this melee. They did whisper me first and ask, is M1 taken?
That's something, I suppose.
Considering that what we usually get is the guy looking to get into the M1 spot at Mach Not. And then be like, dude, you gotta move. We're a 4 out of 8 static and we already got our M1 taken. And he's like, no. Dude, you need to be less of a child about this. No. Dude, we got better things to do, man. We already told you that M1 was taken. No.
The fucking Bugs Bunny meme on steroids.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
No, chat. I wish it was like The Office. No, that would have been much more eventful. Is it possible to mirror? Sometimes my chat. I was gonna answer this with the mic muted, but now I feel like the rest of you should know this one just so you can shake your head at it with me.
Oh boy.
Oh.
And now the intellect of chat. Is it possible to marry a succubus in a Christian church?
Yes.
The company you keep is awful, by the way. I want you to know this. Like, I'm not judging you by the company you keep. I am, however, judging the company you keep. I'm judging intently.
I guess just make sure the priest doesn't bless her with holy water.
I would answer that with technically, yes, you can. Should you? No.
Consider the following. Don't.
That's a very helpful acronym. D-O-N-T. Don't. It stands for don't. Oh my god, Kiwi Cat's getting desperate. Kiwi Cat out here actually trying to buy people to fill for based on their progress. Okay, 1 tank and a melee too. might actually get a really good tank too. No, Nirix, we don't mind any chest. We just want to be free.
Yeah, that's about my current mood, because then we can start marking this as duty complete.
I don't care about my loot. I just wish to be. Oh, never mind. He's melee.
I mean, I'm still technically apply.
I think what was it yesterday? Yesterday we got bulked down to 3 before we got wiped by the stack marker at the end.
Yeah,
It's down to 3, and then it was the stack. It wasn't even in rage. Oh.
Don't
Yeah.
raise it a few times.
It was like 2 or 3 times. It was a pretty good run, all things considered.
I
know,
wish I
Leo
wish I was
showed up.
there, man.
I know Leo said he was not going to show up tonight because he's just tired of doing this fight.
Well, he also has a work schedule, so.
Fair.
That was the reason he gave me, was just he doesn't want to do it. But I don't want to do it. Unfortunately, people will shout at me when the Tyrant DPS check fails to get met because of how tight it is.
I mean, that's the thing. If you're not getting this DPS check done, it's gonna be hell on Tyrant.
Yeah.
And one relic weapon is not going to make that big a difference. It's gonna help. Don't misunderstand. It's gonna help. Do your relic if you can. Unless you're at the Demi-Atma phase, don't torture yourself. But like me getting my completed relic is not gonna like suddenly turn me from green parsing to purple.
It's gonna upgrade my damage from 2 DPS to 3 DPS.
I'd hope your DPS is a little higher than 2.
I mean, Astra has the lowest DPS output.
I'm pretty sure my auto attacks do more than 2. And my auto attacks hit for 1.
Oh no, my auto attacks hit for 1. I just paper cut them with the card for 1 damage.
It's like, can you put your dot up? Yes, congratulations. You now have more than 2 DPS. By the way, did anyone need tanks or no?
I got 123. That should be plenty for right
Okay.
now.
I got 144.
Okay.
I got plenty.
Don't need to have moments just like, man, we wiped at 2%. I would have had if I didn't run out of tanks. Me sitting with 500 of each in my saddlebag. And an unhealthy amount of popcorn. Oh, yep, YouTube did not switch over like it should have. Whoops. Bye.